Hey everybody, Nathan Lalonde here. Today we're going to cover the top things you need to be doing to get your home prepared for sale. Doing these things are going to get your home looking its absolute best. It's going to welcome visitors in and make it more appealing to them as they walk in the front door. So let's get right to it. The top of my list is smell. If somebody walks in your house and they get hit in the face with noxious fumes, I've literally had people turn right around and walk back out the front door after walking in and smelling something that's offensive to them. So whether that be dog smell or whether it be kitchen odors or whether it's just death by Scentsy or wall plug-in, there are things that you've got to make sure you're doing when it comes to the smell that people smell when they walk in the front door. You can't have those, that be the first thing that they notice when they walk in, because it's going to set them off and basically make the whole experience bad for them from the start. So we got to get the smell of the house under control. Now, if you've got a dog smell or, different cooking smells like curry smells and things like that, or if it's cigarette smoke when you walk through, one of the top things that you can do is have the carpets cleaned. Painting the walls also helps as well. And sometimes that can alleviate the smells when people walk in the front door. But if those don't help, then you've got to start looking other places. Maybe do a duct clean out, have a duct service come in and clean out, or change out the air filters and do a cleaning on the AC system. And hopefully that gets it to where the smell is not so bad. But if you get to a point where you've done all that and it still smells like pet odor or cooking odor or smoke smell when you walk through the door, then we have to look at going on ahead and changing out carpet, because the carpet's saturated in it and it's to an extent that it's never going to change. So got to get those smells under control. The other thing that many people do that's a common mistake is you walk into their house and they've got a wall plug-in in every room, multiple candles burning, and it's basically, you just get overwhelmed by these scents. And they're not necessarily bad scents, it's just too much, right? In your nose, you walk out with a headache after walking through the home. And that's definitely not the kind of experience we want when somebody's walking through your home. So what you need to do is go with a wall plug-in. You'll want two on the ground floor, one in the front, kind of near the door when they walk in, and then one towards the back of the home or in the master bedroom if the master's on the ground floor, so that the home is covered back and front. You'll want light scents, not something too heavy or musky, so light and airy, sometimes fruity, or maybe one of those light sugar cookie type smells, something that's gentle though and not overpowering. And then if you're in a two-story home, you'll want one plug-in upstairs, probably in the central hallway or game room, somewhere in the middle. But that's good, decent coverage for the majority of houses that are going to go on the market. And people are going to walk in with a home smelling pleasant and not being knocked back because they're hit as soon as they walk through the door with some overpowering scent. So that's number one. The second thing is lighting. Lighting is crucial when somebody's coming into your house. If you don't have good lighting and it's dark and dim, they're going to feel like they're walking through a cave. And if you've got different lights or mismatched lights in rooms, and this room has, halogen, this room has LEDs, and this room has soft white, and this one has clear and bright, it can be kind of disorienting. And so what we want is good uniform lighting throughout the house so that it's light and bright and people feel welcomed when they walk in the home. So what you want to do is you make sure there's no burnt out light bulbs anywhere in the house. Every light bulb and every fixture should have their light bulbs working and filled in. And you definitely don't want to mismatch colors in one filter. Tend to not even want to mismatch colors in a room. The best possible scenario is if you're using the same bulb throughout the entire house so that everything looks light and bright and uniform. If you're using a soft white light bulb, those can be dim. And so if you're using one of those, you're going to want to use a higher lumen soft white, which can be found in most LEDs. So that's my recommendation for lighting. We want the house light and bright, uniform throughout, and welcoming when somebody comes in, so that they feel that there's nothing glaring or off about the home as they're walking through it. After lighting, the next thing that needs to be covered is clutter. If you walk into a house and there's too much stuff, it starts to feel disorganized and confusing. So you want to minimalize things, and that goes across the board, from whether it's too much furniture, too much things on the countertops and cabinets, or shelving, too much things around the house in decor, too much of your personalized decor or pictures of your family. We want to declutter and kind of minimalize. And that doesn't mean that you have to take everything out of the house and strip everything bare, but it does mean that we need to box a lot of stuff up. If you're going into a room and there's just stuff everywhere, that's unappealing. And we want people to go into a room and be able to see the possibilities of that room, the possibilities in your house, and not be distracted by all the stuff that you've got in the house. So what you want to do is, on bathroom and kitchen countertops, we definitely want these, all the stuff taken off of these that you normally would have. And we do little bookend pieces, like say in the master bathroom, you're going to want a decorative piece on the left side, maybe a flowering piece on the right hand side, and then some little things in the center to kind of give that more uniform look on the countertop. The same is going to go for the kitchen. We want to clear off your toaster, your waffle maker, your knife block, things like that. We're going to want to go ahead and clear a lot of that stuff out. The paper towel roll, that's not something that needs to be on the countertop in your kitchen when we're trying to show the home. So again, we want to pick bookend areas, and then areas maybe where there's a turn or a curve in the wall, and we'll put little pieces along that area, whether it be a decorative picture or a little sculpture or a flower or a vegetation type of thing. We'll put those around the kitchen countertops. And it gives that feeling that there's plenty of counter space and that they're not going to be fighting for space. Because if they walk into your kitchen and every single inch of the countertops is taken up with stuff, they're going to think, this house doesn't have room for my stuff. It's going to look overcrowded all the time. And that's not what we want. So the other thing, we want you to start paring down things that are in the closets, extra stuff that's around the house that's not needed. We want to go ahead and start boxing some of that stuff up, put it in the garage, put it in a closet, like a coat closet or a broom closet or something like that, or pop it into the attic. But we want the master closet to be open and not cluttered. We want majority of the house to not be cluttered as well. So that's the very key thing. Let's cut down the clutter, minimalize, and get the house looking free from a lot of that extra stuff. Along the same lines as that is the flow of the traffic in the house. We want to make sure that when somebody walks through the house, they're not having to dodge furniture or decorative pieces or any of that kind of stuff that you have lying around the house. We want to make sure that there's a clear flow through the house from room to room, and even in rooms that there's a clear path for you to follow. I want to be able to walk straight into the living room and not have to dodge your end table or an armchair or something like that. We need to be able to have good access into and out of rooms and not feel like we're tripping over stuff. And so if your house is set up in a way that you don't feel that that's the case, and you feel like there's choke points in traffic or things that you're having to dodge around, then we probably need to start looking at taking out a little bit, because it's better to have less stuff in a room than for the room to look congested and not able to walk through it without tripping over something. So we want a nice clear flow from room to room all the way throughout the house, and in rooms we don't want there to be choke points in traffic. We want to be able to walk throughout the room unencumbered and be able to get everywhere within the room. The next thing we want to do is walk the interior and exterior of the home and come up with a master repair list. Look around for anything that's broken, anything that's really scuffed up or damaged, and let's go ahead and get that stuff fixed so that it doesn't come up on an inspection report or isn't some obvious glaring thing that a buyer walking through your house is going to notice. If there's, say if the pets damage the door by scratching on it or something like that, you're gonna wanna go ahead and get that painted. If the grout in the tile looks bad, you're gonna wanna go ahead and get that grout cleaned. If there's mold in the shower, you wanna get that stuff addressed, maybe recaulk the shower. But go around and find anything that's broken, anything that looks bad, and let's go ahead and do a master repair list of things that you have the ability to go in and correct, and get that corrected before we take pictures and before the house gets on the market. So when it does get on the market, none of that stuff is a glaring problem and buyers come in and feel like the home's been well maintained and well taken care of. The last thing we'll cover is cleaning. And we've already kind of highlighted some things that you can clean, but I recommend for every person who's putting their house on the market to go ahead and get a professional cleaning company to come through and do a make-ready cleaning on the house. I'm not saying you're dirty, but there's a difference between how the majority of people are going to clean their house and how a professional crew is going to come through and get it ready for showing and listing. So typically you're going to pay a few $100s for a cleaning crew to come through and do a make-ready cleaning. And they'll go through, they'll dust all the vent covers, they'll do all the ceiling fans, they're going to do the baseboards and the blinds and things that you may not have necessarily thought about when you're cleaning the house, but I guarantee you a buyer is going to notice it if they're walking through the house and they see, oh, there's dust all over this person's blinds, or the ceiling fans have a layer of dust sitting on them, and things like that. So go ahead, spend the money, get a professional cleaning crew to come through. I've got several I can recommend to you. Get a professional cleaning company to come through, get your home looking, feeling, and smelling top-notch and ready to go. So those are my top things for getting your home ready for sale. Now, of course, I've got a nice long brochure that's gonna highlight out a bunch of things for you to take a look at as well. A nice bulleted, pointed list that will help you get prepared. If you're interested in me sending that over, go ahead and click the button below to reach out to me and ask for that list. I'll send it over. Just give me your contact information. I'll send you that list so that you can start getting ready. If you feel like you're ready and want to have somebody come through and evaluate your home and talk to you about listing, give me a call as well. Love to give you an updated value on your home and talk to you a little bit about it. That's all for now. Have a great one.